for time's sake, these are all points, obviously samplers. Tower A and Tower B, BB Lake, okay? You can see here, if you open the attribute table, there's a polygon layer, 2 values, BB points, again, point layer, BB rivers, a line layer, and BB bound, a polygon layer. So we're all vector here. Using 3D analyst tools, so close the symbology down, come back here to my toolbox, and I'm going to navigate up to my 3D analyst tools. Okay, create a new tin called BB tin using the following data. So the first thing we want to do is come down here to our tin data set, create tin. Our output tin is going to be called BB tin. All right. And we're going to use the following parameters. So current map for coordinate system. Our input features, the first one is BB points. It's spelled differently in the practice exam, but BBPNT or PTS makes sense. And the default elevation as a z-value and mass points is set. So then we're going to add another BB rivers as hard break lines or hard line. We can see hard line is the default with no elevation data, and sure enough, height field is none. So that's good as is. We're going to add another. In this case, BB Lake is hard replace. So select BB Lake. We're going to change soft clip to hard replace. With elevation as z-value, that is set as default, so we can keep it that way. And then finally add BB bound as soft clip. All right, I don't know why it's doing that. We're going to change that to, that's weird, soft clip. And no z-value, so we change the elevation to none. Okay, so we just examine that, make sure everything looks good. Okay, and we run. We now have a tin. Okay, and we can look at that tin and we can see our elevation values and our break lines. Okay, so first question, viewshed 1, using the conversion tools, convert BB tin to raster using a cell size of 10 for sampling value and keeping all other defaults. So what do? We right under tin dataset, we see the conversion tool set, and we use tin to raster. Our input tin is the only tin we have, BB tin. And our output is going to be called BB raz. All right. Let me just catch myself here. All right. If we do not tell you, right, to change something, just leave it default. Right. So we have floating point as the output data type. Linear line is the method. Sampling distance, though, is not observations. It's cell size. And we want to change that cell size to a sampling value of 10, and leave the Z factor as 1. And run. And now we have BB raz with a range of values from 1343. So it's slightly different than this. 225.58, again, slightly different, but basically it's the same range. All right. Using BB raz, Generate a slope layer measured in degrees with a z factor of 1. Well, where do we get that? We look here and we see our raster, surface, and again, I am just navigating to these because I know where they are, but you guys can always just use search, right? And search for slope under 3D Analyst tools. Our input raster is BB-RAS, it's the only one. Our output raster, we're not telling you what to call it, but we can just call it slope BB-RAS, it's fine. Output measurement is degrees, so that's set. Method, we don't tell you, z factor 1 is set. All we have to do now is run. And we see the values, right, that are in a discrete, unique kind of value. So it says in the instructions, what is the maximum slope in degrees attained anywhere in this raster surface? Note, go to Appearance tab, Symbology. So with that selected, it's not appearance anymore, it's raster layer, remember? Symbology, right? And instead of use classify, go to stretch. Okay? And now we can see in the stretch, right, the values rounded to 2 decimal places. What is the maximum slope? 47.50. Any questions on that? Okay. So, bottom line is, just like what you see here in the practice exam, reading the instructions, reading the directions is critical. Don't skip over stuff, because if you did, you may not use the stretch tool to actually come up with the correct answer. All right? You'll just look at classify and go, wait, I don't see the value. Nothing's listed here. All right? Read the instructions, underline if you need to, or in your mind, underline. All right? Get the high points. So, next piece, last piece, is the viewshed analysis.